What is good, YouTube? It's your boy RisKK. As you can see by the title and on your screen, in today's video I'm bringing you guys a build video, but it is not any build video. I'm gonna bring you guys a future two-time MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo build. Guys, you already know what he could do, and we're gonna make this build almost exactly like him. This build's gonna have the ability to dunk at an insane level, play defense at an insane level, and be able to kind of shoot the mid-range jumper. So with that being said, if you guys are new to the channel, or if you're just, you know, a returning subscriber, still make sure you hit that like button. Let's try to get at least 50 likes in this video. And then if you are new, do not forget to hit that big red subscribe button and turn those notifications on so you can be notified right away when I upload all my videos, so you can be first to see all my content, whether it's a build video, jump shot video, anything like that. It's going to be helpful to you, so you want to make sure you have those notifications on. But with that being said, let's get right into today's video. So starting this build off, guys, obviously the position you want is going to be a power forward, because that is kind of what Giannis plays. Technically, he plays the power forward position. So when I make these NBA player builds, guys, I try my best to make the build usable in 2K, but having the most similar qualities to that player in the actual NBA. So obviously not everything exactly is going to fit Giannis and stuff like that, but more or less it's pretty accurate. So starting with our skill breakdown here, guys, our skill breakdown is going to be the, I would say, you know, the half red and half blue pie chart. And why are we picking this pie chart? Well, this pie chart gives us the ability to obviously get Hall of Fame defensive and Hall of Fame finishing badges, compared to, you know, choosing a pie chart that is majority finishing. You're not gonna get those Hall of Fame defensive badges, which would make this build unusable. So we're gonna select this pie chart right here, guys. And moving on to the physical profile, honestly, with the physical profile, I've had a lot of time trying to figure out which one to choose, because there is so many options you could go with. But, you know, after taking my time and look at everything, personally, I think the physical profile you're going to want is going to be this third to last physical profile, or just the third in general. It's the one right in the middle, as this was going to give you the 71 speed, which is the second highest speed pie chart. And you're going to get that 85 strength, which at the center position I think is very important, especially for a build like Giannis. I think that fits him very well. Alright. So now we're going to go into our attributes. These attributes are pretty self-explanatory. You're going to upgrade that finishing all the way for now. And same thing with defense. We're just going to max it out, and we're going to adjust everything after that. So when we max out these two categories, you'll see we'll have 28 upgrades remaining, with 23 defensive and 25 finishing. Now that sounds pretty nice, but at the same time we need to balance this build out more, once again, to make this build a little bit more usable within 2K. So how are we going to do that? We're going to do that by removing our post hook. Alright, you don't really need a post hook. Post hooks this year are not really effective, unless you literally have a 90 post hook rating, which this build does not. So I don't see a point in using it, and losing those two finishing badges will not, you know, affect us too much. So we're going to get around 30 attributes remaining back. And then now for our steal rating, we're going to drop that. Why? Because we're only losing one defensive badge from that. And keep in mind, our steal rating, we're playing the center position on this build. Technically, we're not going to be able to guard guards, have the speed to keep up with the guards. So the steal rating is not really going to be used much, because when you're talking about passing lane steals, that does not really account for that steal attribute. So we don't need that attribute at all, giving us now from 28 we're back at 90 attributes remaining. Now what can we do with this? A lot of different things to make this build just a little bit better. And as you see, what we did here is we decided to upgrade the mid-range shot to a 62. Why? Well, obviously once you raise our height and wingspan, this is going to drop a little bit to around a 58, 57. But using shooting with your pro stick function, or maybe even just shooting with your mid-range off, or I mean not mid-range, but your meter off, and then doing fading mid-range shots, you could hit shots somewhat consistently with that rating, guys. Because fades this year are ridiculous, so you could hit fades with that. And if you just use your pro stick, the pro stick gives you literally like a 15% boost when shooting those mid-range shots. So this makes this build able to be able to shoot that jumper and make it, you know, make the defense, you know, kind of, you know, respect your jump shot at the mid-range and make this play a little bit more versatile. And the same idea here is going when we go to playmaking. All right, Giannis is someone who is going to dominate in the fast break offense, so having these playmaking badges are going to give us two badges that are very important to fit a Giannis build, and we will find those out later. But just know those 6 playmaking badges and that mid-range shot is going to be very important to this build. All right, so moving on now, our body shape. Right, Giannis is not slight, he's not compact, he's not solid. You could argue defined, but I think he's a little bigger than that. And he's not burly either, but he is built, y'all. Giannis is built, so make sure you select that build body shape right there. And now for the height, once again, like I said, I try to make these builds as most realistic as possible for the NBA players. So obviously I'm gonna go 6'11" with this build to fit Giannis, but technically this build would be better at like a 6'9" in terms of 2K, but we're gonna go 6'11" for the purpose of this video. So you're gonna make the height 6'11". Now with the weight, we're gonna drop the weight to around let's see here. We're gonna drop it at 223. Why are we dropping it to 223, guys? Let me explain. We have that strength from our physical profile that we chose, so we are able to afford to drop our weight just a little bit, giving us back that 70 speed. And keep in mind, when you do your Gatorade drills and you hit 99 overall, that will go up to a 78 speed, which is more than you need, especially for a Giannis build that is actually perfect. That 76 strength would obviously max out at around an 80 once you do all that stuff as well. Same for the acceleration, would be in the mid 70s, and that vertical would be in the mid 60s. Now also by dropping the weight, we're also getting a little bit more lateral and perimeter defense. While yes, we are losing that interior defense, but we are 6'11" with possibly max wingspan, as you'll see here later. So that stat really does not make a difference, but we do get the driving dunk and driving layup attributes up, which is very important. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna max out our wingspan. And with this wingspan maxed out, yes, our strength drops a little bit, but we'll still be able to reach that 80 plus. But everything else is going up, guys. The defensive rebound, the offensive rebound, the block, the standing dunk, the driving dunk, the close shot, all that is what we want on a Giannis build. And something to take account for is, since we actually went 6'11" and we managed to, you know, lower our weight a little bit, we actually got some pluses to our driving dunk. And as you see with the 81 driving dunk, when we get that plus 1 and reach 99 overall, we will be able to get some contact dunk animations at 85 driving dunk. So that is something that is very important to keep in mind. So we're gonna go with this max wingspan here, and then we're gonna choose our takeover. You could really go either way with this, but we are going for Giannis build, and I feel like a Giannis build should be focused a little bit more on defense and protecting that rim. So I'm gonna go with this rim protector takeover. But as you can see, guys, that is the Giannis build glass cleaning finisher. You saw everything it could do. You even see right there, it says it's even similar to Giannis, so that means we built this build perfectly. Now for those of you guys who are, you know, unsure of what badges to use this year and all that, we are gonna actually hop into the badges really quickly. I'm not gonna waste too much time on it. I'm gonna just skim through all the badges and recommend to you guys badges that I think you should be using on this build specifically. Now once again, the badges with this build also depend very much on your playstyle, because based on how you plan on using this build is gonna really affect what badges you're gonna want to be using. So the first 4 badges you saw me put right here, slithery finisher, lob city finisher, consistent finisher, and contact finisher, are badges you want no matter of your playstyle. Those are badges that are a must. You're gonna need these badges to excel in anything in terms of finishing and, you know, just in the paint. So make sure you have those 4. But then here's where it gets tricky. We have 7 attribute upgrades remaining. Now when I refer to playstyle, I meant if you're planning on going in the post in the 1v1 core, or just posting up in general, back down, punisher, and drop step would be something I would recommend with these last 7 badges. But if that's not your playstyle, you might want to go with, you know, a fancy footwork and a relentless finisher. I'm assuming you're just going to be more of just a slasher in general. So that's what I meant by it really depends on your playstyle. But I'm going to assume a lot of you guys are not, you know, really post scorers, and you're planning on using this build as a slasher build, considering it is a Giannis build. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that fancy footwork on Hall of Fame with gold relentless finish. And with that, we're going to be pretty dominant in the paint, guys. That's all I could say. Moving on to shooting here, we have 1 shooting badge. Now do not take this for granted, guys. This 1 shooting badge, and I've been saying this for the past, you know, couple years, or not couple years, but for the past year, I guess you could say, this 1 shooting badge is very important, guys, because when we talk about this badge right here, Hot Zone Hunter, you could get hot zones in the paint, guys, and those hot zones in the paint will actually help you make more layups and more dunks, etc. And that applies to actually a lot of badges. Clutch shooter, that would apply. Volume shooter. Let's see here, what other badges? Slippery off ball. Those are just some badges that you could use that actually don't require to, you know, have a shot or like a high 3-point shot or anything like that. Even deep fades, you could chuck on a deep fades or something like that. So just don't forget that we do have this 1 shooting badge, as it is actually somewhat useful. Alright, now I told you guys, remember these 6 playmaking badges, that they were going to be very important for how we use this build. Now this is what I meant: downhill Hall of Fame, or not Hall of Fame but gold, and quick first step gold. Why? Because Giannis, when we talk about Giannis, we talk about someone who is quick, explosive, and dominates in the fast break. And what do these 2 badges do? Quick first step, it literally says provides more explosive first steps out the triple threat. So that sounds like a Giannis to me. And then downhill, increase overall speed with the ball in transition. I hear the word transition, And I'm pretty sure Giannis dominates the transition. So when you put these two badges together, guys, not only does it make this more of a Giannis build, but it actually provides usefulness to this build. When we get those rebounds, we will be able to outrun our center or the opposing center because we do have this downhill badge. And same thing with this quick first step badge. If someone thinks they could guard us, we could just quickly go out of jab step and we're gonna get that explosive first step to easily get us some layups and dunks. So that's why I wanted to upgrade that playmaking, just to add another dimension to our in total game. Now moving on to the defense / rebounding badges, these are going to be the most important and probably the least controversial badges in this build. Alright, obviously the most common ones, you're going to put rebound chaser, rim protector, brick wall, intimidator, Hall of Fame. Those are the most common ones. But now it starts to get a little tricky. We have 6 left. Typically, I like going bronze box, bronze worm, and Hall of Fame chase down artist. Why? Bronze box, obviously I feel like having that badge is very key. Same thing with worm, because a lot of centers don't run either of those badges at all. So when you have that badge just on bronze, it actually will give you a huge advantage over the opposing center, assuming they don't have that badge at all. And then why do I go with the why do I go with the chase down artist? Because it's a Giannis build, guys. We know Giannis is going to get those chase down blocks, and this chase down artist badge gives you kind of like a speed burst when you're chasing someone down, and I feel like that fits Giannis perfectly. So with that being said, guys, you saw how we created the build. You saw I could pretty much do everything to a certain extent, especially dominating the finishing and the defense, and with a little playmaking. You saw the badges. The badges are going to make this build really dominant as one. Once you hit that 99 overall, you get that speed increase, or the speed increase, the driving dunk increase, all that. This build is going to be so overpowered, guys. So if you guys found this build helpful, make sure you drop a like on this video. If you have not yet, make sure you hit that big red subscribe button and turn the notification bell on to all notifications so you can be notified right away when I upload these bangers. So with that being said, it's your boy Risk, and I'm out.
Lucas. It's funny how now she be calling me back. She see that I got it, I'm stuck in the trap. 40 autos, let me put it right back. 40 autos and he left in the back. I can't be trusting cause people just act. I get the money, I run it right back. The plug on my phone, I get to these racks. The plug on my phone, I'm gonna get back. I can't be trusting cause people be switching and stuff.